Hello there, everybody. Welcome to part 2 of drawing every day for 30 days. You don't need to watch the last video I did to understand what's happening here. I'm just doing a finished drawing every day for 30 not 30 drawings, 30 days. 30 drawings in 30 days. But I will link the last video in the description if you do want to watch that. So I started out with an OC drawing of my OC Japheth. He's kind of like this villain type character, but he's also the main character in this random world that I made. And it was kind of late at night when I started this, or at least had the time to do it. So I was having a lot of trouble with like the poses and just ideas like throughout the day. I was like, oh, what am I gonna draw today? But I ended up finding a decent idea, but I do think it looks a little stiff, and I think the lighting I could have done better on, but I do like the colors. I like kind of that pinkish red color, and just red in general with blue colors. I just think it's a really nice combo. So you know, it's an okay piece. So day 2, I wanted to do something that kind of looked like a scene that you would take a picture with a camera, like in a street or something. So I decided to draw my OC Connor and my persona looking kind of like I had read some directions on a map wrong, and now Connor is annoyed about that because we probably took like 50 different wrong turns trying to figure out where we're supposed to go. And yeah, I just wanted to do that. Something about this drawing is that I usually don't draw like hands touching faces. Like I can't remember the last time I did that. So I did have to like look at some references and stuff. I think it turned out pretty nice. I think it definitely kind of had the vibe that I was going for. I wanted something kind of in the foreground, and then the characters would be in the midground and then background. I think that kind of adds to it a lot and makes it look more like something you would, like a candid photo you would take of someone. Which is kind of something that I practiced earlier in the challenge with my truck gang drawing, which you can see in the last video if you want. Yeah, overall I just like the vibe of this drawing and I enjoyed making it. I had a ton of trouble with getting an idea on day 13. Like I started a pretty much completely different drawing of Diluc from Genshin Impact, but I just didn't like how it was turning out, so I just scrapped it, which was unfortunate because I was spending like a long time on that. But I don't know, some drawings you just gotta throw out for a little bit, maybe return to later, and maybe it's just not the day for that one. But I eventually decided to do this drawing with Link. Basically, the kind of story in my head that was going on was it's raining after Link has slain some monsters. So there is like kind of like a lot of blood in this picture. Like not crazy, but if you're kind of sensitive to that, I don't know what exactly is on the screen right now. But it was a good time to practice rain and blood, which are interesting to go together. I think I should have done like a few things differently with that. Like I think the blood's a little too thick considering that it's raining. Yeah. And I just wanted the whole drawing to look kind of epic, and I kind of took a little bit of inspiration from like that Batman picture where like there's lightning going on behind him. I think it's from one of the animated Batman shows. But yeah, I was kind of thinking of that, and I just wanted it to look overall very cool and epic. and I think I succeeded. I definitely like how it turned out, and I think Link ended up like looking really good. I haven't drawn Link a lot, but yeah, I don't know. I think it turned out pretty good. Okay. Okay, day 14. So today I just wanted to do another photo reference kind of thing. Because I just have a lot of trouble with doing photographs because I have a difficult time stylizing it so that it looks like that photo but in my style. And so it turns out to look like that photo, sort of, but like weird. I just don't know how to mesh them as well as yet. And that's kind of something that I'm trying to work on, which is why I did this drawing, because it's something I wanted to work on. Yeah, overall not much to say about it. I did change like the position of the roses. I didn't really want to draw all the roses over his shirt and stuff, so I just have a few in his collar, and of course kept the one in his hand. Definitely there are a few things I would change about it. I think in the end I went over it a little bit to kind of fix the lighting mostly. I don't remember what it ended up looking like. But yeah, not much to say about it. Pretty simple, straightforward day. Okay, on day 15, I did a picture of Jiyan. I'm not sure exactly how to pronounce his name, but he is from the game Wuthering Waves. I saw a ton of people playing like the beta, and I just was like, oh, he looks pretty cool. Let's draw him. And I wanted to kind of do a bit of a watercolor texture, so with the line art I used a watercolor brush, and also with the shading I used kind of some watercolory brushes from Clip Studio, or like ink brushes. I'm not 100% sure. But yeah, I just wanted an overall watercolor kind of feel. And something that was definitely hard with this, as I say with pretty much every gacha game character, I would say Hoyoverse, but this isn't Hoyoverse actually, which is pretty cool. But they are so detailed. And for him, he doesn't have like a Game Fashion's archive model or even a game model that I can look at yet. So I had to just kind of hunt for pictures on Pinterest, and it ended up okay. Like the references I found, I do like the finished product of the drawing, but I just pretty much completely gave up for like the golden symbol on his blue jacket robe thingy. I just pretty much scribbled on it in the general shape, and I was like, you know what, that's fine. I do not have a detailed enough reference, and I do not have the time to finish that. Yeah, so that's the only thing I took like a big shortcut for. Otherwise, I think that it turned out pretty nice. I had fun with the background, like it was pretty simple, but I kind of wanted it to be like just before or after a rain where, well, like it's still raining but the clouds are kind of dispersing, or maybe they're just gathering, one or the other. Yeah, well, overall I liked it. Let's move on to day 16. So on day 16 I wanted to draw Japard from Honkai Star Rail. I drew him like really. I drew him not long after the game released. I read his lore. He was like my first 5-star, so I leveled him up pretty quickly. And he's one of my favorite characters too, so yeah. But I was kind of reading his lore, and so I drew him after that based on some of his lore, but I haven't drawn him since. So that's what I did today. Overall, it's simple. Like, the background is very, like, simple. It's, like, straightforward, just a color with some sparkles, snow stuff. And I think, like, the line art turned out really well in this. The face I probably would have worked on if I was doing this over, like, 2 days. But I was not doing it over 2 days, so I did not. But I just kind of wanted something simple to do because I knew that his armor was going to be super detailed and stuff, like every gacha game character is. It's pain. But you know what? I persevere. Yeah, and I used, like, the ice in his hand as the light source. It's kind of inspired by his ultimate animation, and I like having the light source in the actual piece. I think that's fun to do, and I think it always leads to, like, a very cool effect. Overall, yeah, I like this piece. Let's move on to day 17. Okay, so not a crazy piece to end on, but I just kind of wanted to do a small practice background, because backgrounds, I feel like, are something that I definitely need improvement on. And so I don't particularly like or dislike this. It's fine for what I was doing, which was just like a basic background practice. And then I just threw in Bilbo and Gandalf, like, because one, they were in the reference picture, and two, I felt like it needed something, but you know, it's really simple and stuff. But I definitely learned about what I should be doing. So one thing I was like, so I did pretty much all the line art on, like, one layer instead of separating them. So I think so next time I did backgrounds, I was like, oh, I should separate them because then it's easier and a lot less tedious to color them, which was one of the more annoying parts, I guess. So yeah, and then it also helped me work with colors. I feel like backgrounds are hard to color. So yeah, I don't know why I find backgrounds hard to color, but I do. So yeah. Overall, it's fine. It feels more like a warm-up picture, which I don't really do, but like it feels like the first step of a project, if you know what I mean. Anyways, yeah, that's it for this video. I will try and get part 3 out as soon as possible. Yeah, that's about it. Bye.